good. I'm good.
Does that look familiar to you, bro? You got a few of those, don't you?
I got a few of those, you know what I'm saying?
So, Phil, if I'm not mistaken, you're the only one in Olympia history who has all 3 different sandals, correct, sir?
Correct. You are the historian.
I try to be, yes. I try to, where the late, great Peter McGuff left off, I try to pick up. Nobody can ever fill Peter's shoes, but you've got the original sandals that were presented, of course, all throughout history.
Yep.
Then you've got the golden sandal.
Yes, the 50th.
That was on the 50th anniversary, and the bigger supersized sandal, which is what you guys see here today.
Yes.
Well, how's it feel to be back on the stage here at the Olympia weekend?
I mean, it feels really awesome, man. Capacity crowd in here. How you guys doing? They could do a lot better than this. How you guys doing? That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Feels so great to be here, back in Las Vegas. Oh my gosh, I was backstage able to see everybody.
I see there's all kinds of champs back there. There's all kinds of superstars. I know you got a chance to mingle in. And who's coming out now? Everybody.
What's up, guys?
Another 7-time Olympia champ, Flex Lewis. Man, I miss saying that on stage.
No, I know.
I love it. 7 times. You guys know each other?
A little bit, you know. A little bit, you know.
Some traveling.
Exactly.
Well, Flex, congratulations. I see you got a whole gym set up right outside those doors. That shouldn't have been easy.
It's been planned since January, so I'm very happy that the gym has turned into what it is. And if you guys have not checked it out, please get your pump on, get your swole on before the show. It's going to be a great little activation as part of the Mr. Olympia weekend.
You know, I couldn't help but notice, of course, we're in Las Vegas of all places, and of course, I see rain falling outside. It probably doesn't rain twice a year, but it's got to rain when you got a whole gym outside, right?
Of course it does, and you know, coming from Wales, we're not shy from rain, but certainly somebody here from Europe has brought that rain in, so take it back where it came from. But nonetheless, we're in Las Vegas. Even if it's raining, even if it's shining, we're here for one thing, and that is the Mr. Olympia.
Well, you know what? I hear some theme music, and that can only mean one thing. Who's coming out? Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, he is your 6-time Olympia champion, Chris Bumstead. How about this for an Olympia lineup? Chris, you just were on this stage competing last year.
Yeah, it's weird being up here. A little more body fat, a little less muscle.
A lot more
clothes, a lot more clothes for sure, but it's fun to be back here this year for sure. I'm grateful.
Well, listen, we did the Sunday seminar last year, and you promised right here on this stage last year that you were retiring from competing, but not from the sport itself, and you would be integral in this year's events. So we appreciate you coming out. And I know you got a few tricks coming up for this year in that classic division.
For sure, yeah. They're not my tricks. The guys out here, they earned everything that they're getting. So I'm super excited to see who can take that crown after my retirement.
Well, if you guys got a few minutes, why don't you join me here on our Olympia stage? I'm going to take a seat over here.
I'm going to sit way over there. I want to sit next
Where
to
that
this
we get a
damn sandal.
chance
That's what I'm
to,
going to do.
we got some
Yeah,
microphones.
you know what I'm saying?
Man, why am I way over here? I'm like way
know.
off the grid.
Oh,
Bill, you're looking for number 8 there, I think, buddy.
No. We ain't doing all that, but arms ain't going nowhere. But
I don't know, man. Those arms look pretty good to me, champ, and I see you eyeing that thing. Yeah. 8's a nice little display on the mantle, isn't it?
You know, I came, I saw, I conquered. I was very, very fortunate to be able to compete at a very high level for all those years. A lot of trials and tribulations, obviously, but, you know, I made it out, and I made it out alive and well. I'm just very blessed to be here with all of you guys.
Bill, take me back. You know, we never get a chance really to just kind of shoot the breeze. I mean, we do in our private time, but in front of a live audience is always great. To kind of get a little more in depth into what did the Olympia mean to you? And did it change from the time that you started and got your first Olympia to the time that you tied Arnold's record at number 7?
You know, I got into the sport October 8th of 2002. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I was going to be on the Olympic stage, let alone walking away with a sandal. What it's done for me is allowed me an opportunity to find out who I really am, not just as a bodybuilder, but as a man. And, you know, through the grace of God, I was able to, you know, find a lot of, you know, different pathways through all the trials and tribulations that I went through. But most importantly, being able to focus on my body of work, be able to challenge myself, push my limits, meet people from all over the world, being able to inspire different people. You know, when we come to this place in Las Vegas, to compete. We get to meet a lot of people. And I know a lot of these athletes get to meet a lot of you, especially after I meet the Olympians. But for me, it was always just about that true, honest, vulnerable connection. And through that body of work, I just really was feeling like expectations being very, very high, but also understanding what defeat felt like as well. And then realizing that I'm only one rep, one set, one more meal away from getting to my goal. And through all of it, I just can't say it enough. I'm just so thankful, so grateful for the Mr. Olympia contest, because it is and forever will be the greatest bodybuilding show on the planet.
Well, Flex, you found yourself in a great position some years ago when the 212 division came around, and it gave guys like yourself an opportunity. And I know towards the end of your career there was maybe some speculation, maybe you would go and open. I know you did an open show somewhere in there, but you found your place. What an opportunity that was. There's been a lot of speculation last year or two. It kind of comes up every once in a while that, why do we have these other divisions? Like, what's the point of them? You know, why don't we just have the guys go in the open? Everybody kind of one big happy family. But I think you're a living testament to the fact of what the individual divisions do for athletes like yourself. I'm sure you could have had a decent career in the open, but that's a little different than 7-time Olympia champion, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that 212 class came and was created right at the right time. And it was a true badge of honor where I was able to go around the world, be the spokesperson for, you know, the classes such as the lighter classes, the middleweights, the light heavyweights, even the lighter heavyweights, for a place to find and call their home and be a champion in. And again, I was never given a blueprint to follow. It was really me getting out on the road and meeting people, shaking hands, promoting the sport. And through that, again, this all came from a dream. All came from a dream from a small town in Wales, from a Llanelli, small little village, where I had posters on the wall of all the top bodybuilders who are now my friends, to then getting into the sport through a fluke accident. My path led from a near amputation of my arm. And at 15 years old, I got into the gym, started building up my left arm, and it all led to me to where I am today. And now to look back on the journey, on the path, that was a different guy. That was a focused, forward guy, but I've never forgotten where I've come from. Hence, 20 years in America with this accent is very prideful, and that title is more prideful than anything else. I spoke, I walked, and I talked long before I ever had the official title as a champion. Again, having the opportunity to go around the world through the IFBB as that spokesperson, I've been able to, go to countries I never imagined. Talk to fans to encourage them to take the leap, to get on a plane, to compete, to do whatever. And now, full circle, some of these people have got them testimonies that they tell me about them conversations. And suffice to say, all the way up to this day today, people walking through my gym that have jumped on a plane for the first time, coming to the United States, and walking through the doors, literally crying. So again, I think that is the impact, and for me, it's all about the legacy, and that 212 class was my legacy. I had full aspirations to go up into the open class, but, God has a plan, and I was able to retire undefeated, 21 pro shows, not lost a point in any show I ever done, and I think that was a good little part of my career. So it was, yeah.
Well, Flex, the first title you had to earn was the title of Flex, because when I first met you, you kind of came up and you were a young, spry kid from Wales at Gold's Gym, and you're like, hey guys, my name's Flex Lewis. And we were like, yeah, listen, kid, we already got a Flex, kicking around Gold's Gym, so we're going to call you James until you actually win something. This is a true story, actually. And it was all in good fun, but we actually didn't call you Flex until you won your first show, and you earned that right.
Absolutely. I remember the time and the place. We were actually in the Firehouse, California. I walk into the restaurant having just won my first pro show, and RIP Tom Prince was there along with yourself, and they greeted me with, Flex, come and sit down. And that was a true kind of association to the IFBB crowd right there. And it was, again, earned, not given.
Absolutely, brother. All right, Chris Bumstead. Chris, well, congratulations on an outstanding career, obviously, but you dabbled in the open. You always said for years, I'm going to do one open show when I get done, and just to do it, kind of see where it goes. But I'm pretty much good here with my six Olympia titles. But what did this title mean to you from day one? you kind of emerged yourself as a superstar fairly early on, but your popularity just went through the roof. You have more followers on all the social media aspects than all the Olympians combined. So how does it feel, though, for somebody like yourself who came up in this business, came into the IFBB Pro League, and you kind of all of a sudden felt yourself as this world-renowned influencer, and I use that term because you are the very essence of an influence, but what does that do here? What does that do to your heart to know that you are so beloved by people all over the world?
Really tough question to hit me. It was a hard question to start. It's hard to explain what all that means to me. You know, I never, ever expected the impact that would have came from this, either on my own life or the life of others. I think coming out of bodybuilding into retirement now, I think what I learned from the people who have done it right is they learned that from their journey it was about the man that they became along the way, more so than just about the journey. And, you know, I always haven't wanted to always be someone who preached too much. I wanted to just take action and do something. And over time, I realized that action was what was having an impact on others. And I feel like the impact bodybuilding had on my life was it was like a young kid who was lost and had no idea what he was doing. And through the circumstance of so many things out of your control, bodybuilding gives you something that is very in your control. You're putting in food into your mouth, you're training, you're sleeping, you're recovering. You find like a path to move forward, even if you don't know where you're going, at least you have a direction. And then you work really hard at that, and through that you find meaning and purpose. And I think through doing that and sharing my story, the impact I never imagined I would have had was now retiring and taking off the selfish lens of my own career and hearing from others. The amount of times people are like, I felt lost in my life and I didn't know what to do, but seeing the passion and the drive you put into something and what you made from that, whether or not you knew it was going to come from the beginning, but just deciding to work your ass off on something and improve. You know, a lot of young men, I usually say young men because that's who I speak to more often, but young people feel very lost. And in taking control of the small things you can take control of, you find meaning, you find purpose, you create direction. And the Olympia gave me a stage to do that, to share, to have millions of people to follow me. And I feel like in one side of the coin, I'm probably the worst person to have that. Because, like, I still get anxious when people look at me. It's like I don't want the attention. I kind of want to be in the background. But I also think it allowed me just to be myself and for people to appreciate me taking a journey for myself and sharing what I was learning about myself along the way so that they can take that and learn what they need to about themselves. So it's been a hell of a journey, and I'm just super grateful I had that experience, and I found bodybuilding, and I had the Olympia stage to do it, because there's no greater gift than having a purpose where you can work every single day as hard as you can to be the best possible version of yourself in. Not many people get that gift, and I'm just super grateful.
Bill, let me ask you something. When did you figure out in your heart of hearts that you were a bona fide superstar? Was it your first Olympia win? Did it take a few to kind of sink in? At what point did it really hit you that you're Phil Heath, you're the gift? You're anywhere you go, somebody knows who you are. Anywhere you go, somebody, hey, can I get a picture? Oh man, I've been watching you for years. Oh man, I've got your articles up on my locker, at school, that type of thing. When did it really hit you that you were a superstar?
Probably that first Mr. Olympia. When I turned pro literally 20 years ago, I went to the Mr. Olympia. Joe Weider gave me my tickets, and I was sitting in the cheap seats. It was kind of during that hazing process, right? And I was able to watch Ronnie Coleman, win his 8th, right? And I was able to hang out with him later on that night, and just being so immersed in his space and realizing, like, wow, like, I'm so blessed just to be around greatness, and seeing how everybody approached him, because I was the kid that actually waited 4.5 hours to meet Ronnie Coleman in Denver, Colorado, when he guest posed at Denver East High School, and just to get 4 autographed signatures that I still have to this day. To then going to that show, watching him, being invited to the after party, and being able to see him work, and seeing his level of work ethic, and then being friends with Jay Cutler, seeing him actually become Mr. Olympia, then being on that stage, getting 3rd at my first Mr. Olympia, being so excited, but at the same time feeling defeat because my friend had lost to Dexter, who I was also friends with. So there's a lot of emotions that go through your mind, and seeing how they're received, whether winning and losing. And then I would calculate all of that and say, you know what, Phil, like, you have to have a sense of urgency for this path that you're on. and realize that what goes up can come down, but it's all about the measurement of your manhood by realizing when you're down that you can still connect with people. And like what Chris said, like that's an opportunity for you to truly connect. And although I didn't have social media at the time, we had the magazines, we had, you know, a little form of social media. But when I realized I was a superstar was when I accepted that role of being a champion, because heavy is the head that wears that crown. And, you know, I did the 2010 Olympia, and I remember being on that stage, and I was like, this is my moment, this is my time. And then it was just myself, one of my best friends, Jay Cutler. And then when you announced Jay Cutler's name, I took an exhale, and I realized right then and there that I wasn't ready to be a superstar. Although I had the physique, I didn't have the real champion mentality. So therefore, I just didn't focus on beating Jay Cutler. I didn't make him my nemesis. I had to stare in the mirror and realize that if you want to be like Coleman, Dorian, Jay, Dexter, all these people, you have to focus so hard on your weaknesses, your insecurities that you have, and that fear that you have. And I realized that I had to conquer my own belief system. I felt like there's no such thing as confidence without pure self-belief. Because with that self-belief, I can envision myself as being worthy. And I had to take every rep every day of saying, I am worthy, I am here. Although I didn't make it in certain sports such as basketball, I still had a great experience that I was able to learn things. And now I get to apply that with a sport that I never thought I would be in. So then when I was getting ready for the 2011 Mr. Olympia, I said, you're just going to do your absolute best and then realize that you will be pressured. You will have high expectations. People will want all of your time through sponsorships, through fans that want pictures. I never truly thought I was a superstar. I just knew that I had a platform that required a level of excellence. But more of using that term, that nickname that I have as the gift, that was a gift from God himself to allow me to work on my own parable of talents. You could be a 5-talent person, you could be a 2-talent person, you could be a 1-talent person. And I realized during that journey that I am worthy of something great if I stay obedient to the cause and the purpose that Chris has described, you have described, and never having doubt. Never having doubt. That's what a superstar is, because that is of light through any level of darkness, any Y in the road. I had to focus so much on the light that is within me, and that through that repetition, through hardships, realizing that, yeah, you may win the Olympia, but you gotta still do all this other stuff. You have to do the media. You have to go on plane rides. You have to be in different countries where you don't know if you're going to be accepted or not. But overall, I just realized that that term superstar has all to do with the fact that I embrace all the love and the prayers that I've received from people that I don't even get to meet. So that is something that we all get to share with you guys, and we're all one people. Everybody in here has a goal. Everybody in here has a purpose. And I just so happen to be welcomed on a bodybuilding stage where I get to do my thing, but really it was God's thing for me. And I just can't thank God enough for what I was able to do, and he gets all the glory. I get to be up here and sit down and be around greatness as well. But you guys have greatness inside. You guys are championing through your own level of darkness. But there is a Y in the road. There is a path that you can see. There is a river in the desert. If you believe it, you will see it and you will do it. That, to me, is being a superstar. And if you can do it over and over and over again, man, you can not only be 7-time, but you can be 8-time, 10-time in your own personal life. What I will say, and I would love to hear from you guys, I feel like this is just the beginning of what we were able to do in life. This is not what truly defines us as men. What really defines us is what we do with the platform that we were blessed to have. And I know with Chris having multiple businesses, being a father, being a husband, that is amazing. To me, that is even more than the followers that you could ever have, and I know you know that. Flex, I've watched you from the very beginning. I pulled you aside when you didn't win the 212 championship. What did I tell you? I said, it is going to be your turn at some point, and you're going to have that kung fu freaking grip, and you're not going to let anyone take it away, and you did that. But that's something that we get to share with you guys. So I just want to say thank you all for being here, listening to us talk, pour our hearts out. There's so many stories that we don't have enough time to share, but I will say, when I get to go home, I get to really take this all in. There are tears that flow. There have been on many plane rides where I've sat there and been like, how freaking lucky am I? How freaking fortunate am I? it ain't just about us. It's about you. It's about the promoters. It's about, these lights. But it's really about what we're able to do with it. And I just want to implore you all to continue on your own path to greatness, wherever you are, if you're feeling down and out. We've been down, we've been injured, we've been going through different stuff, and we still go on that stage, and that's what you got to do. You have to give a damn about your success more than anybody else could ever imagine. If you do that, you're going to shock yourself, and you just might shock the world in the process.
All right. Thank you, Phil. Well said. Phil mentions tears that are flowing, Flex, and you were always very emotional competing, and for good reason. But what was your defining moment? As you're here at the Olympia, and you see, I know you were talking with a lot of the athletes that are going to be competing this weekend in the back. It's got to drum up some great memories, of course, but also everybody has a defining moment in their experience, in their history. Was that your first Olympia victory? Was it number 7? Was it overcoming some obstacles? I know you had your share of obstacles. I know you were throwing up your guts in the back at one of the Olympias, and you still came back to win the damn thing. But when you think about it, what really gets you? What almost gets a tear flowing to your eye thinking about it?
I wouldn't say there's just one straight answer. There's a few. The first Olympia, no question. It was, I would say, it solidified everything that I sacrificed, all the time away from my family, being here on my own, just being focused forward and relentless in my craft to achieve that title. And then defending it was another one. But I would say if to sum up all three, the last one, where I went out on my own terms, on number 7, I told the world this is going to be my last ever 212 championship. Unbeknownst to me, it was going to be my end of all of them. But I told myself in that show, I'm going to be present. I'm going to be present backstage, on stage, and everything in between. And I have the most fantastic memory from that last Mr. Olympia. I just want to touch on something that Phil said. Being a Mr. Olympia in any class is such a badge of honor. And when I came to this country at 19 years old and I slept on a sofa for a year and a half and I chased this dream, which is really unfathomable at the time, I was not going to give up on it. I was, like I said, that relentless kid who burnt the ships. I came over here with that one dream of becoming Mr. Olympia. Little did I know that my whole life would change dramatically. But all throughout that course, I've tried to stay humble in that pursuit. Yes, extremely confident and driven. But again, I am still that kid from Wales. I remember the first time I came over here, and I remember the last time I walked on stage. They're very vivid memories, and again, that's pushed me through many of the hardest of preps. But one of the things for me is chasing the legacy. And I wanted to go out on my terms on that number 7. And thankfully I was able to do that. But traveling around the world, again, getting in front of fans that never will have the opportunity to even make it to the Mr. Olympia. And growing up in the magazine era too, there was no social media. So we literally were the magazines that came alive. You came off the plane, there's people at the airports screaming for you, holding banners up. It was true carnage. And in terms of the word superstar, I think being a superstar in this sport is great. But how you conduct yourself and how you walk and talk when you leave anything to do with bodybuilding is how you personify the sport of bodybuilding. Getting into rooms that, again, have never met an athlete or a bodybuilder before, but yet being able to speak the same language and then encouraging them to get into the gym. Or, again, there's multiple different stories that I've been able to be part of as that champion. But one thing I would say from the personal standpoint, I was able to change my life. I was able to firstly pay my mother's mortgage off. We struggled as a family as a kid, and that was one of the first things that I done when I made some money, and I was able to change my parents' life as I changed my life. And now, as the years have gone on, I've got a beautiful family that I've been able to raise. I live here in Las Vegas, and now I'm being able to see the next chapter of that Lewis name come through all the hardships and all the work ethic that their dad has been able to show working for everything he's ever got.
All right, thank you, Flex. Chris, we're getting played off with music because we got a lot of stuff to get to, but what's being an Olympia champion mean to you, brother? Like from the heart, not from the title perspective, but internally. What does it mean to you to be
Please
the
welcome
champ?
the 4 illustrious Mr. Olympia title holders who will be competing here this weekend. First, your
We're gonna
2019
give it to the
Mr.
guys who
Olympia,
this year, I guess.
making his 13th appearance on bodybuilding's greatest stage. He also features 2 Arnold Classic titles and 7 professional victories. Please welcome from the United States, the 15th Mr. Olympia, Brandon.
I think we got some Olympia champs coming out.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Our next Mr. Olympia made history in 2022 right here in Las Vegas, becoming the first Iranian bodybuilder to win the Mr. Olympia title, setting off nationwide celebrations across Iran. And now, he wants that title back. The Persian Wolf is hungry for the taste of another Sandow trophy. Please welcome from Iran, Hadi Choopan. Your next Mr. Olympia won bodybuilding's most prestigious title in 2023 and making history as the first bodybuilder to win the Mr. Olympia and 2 12 Olympia titles. This year, he features monumental wins at the Arnold Classic and the Pittsburgh Pro. Please welcome from the United States, the 18th Mr. Olympia in bodybuilding history, Derek Lunsford. And now, your final Mr. Olympia, your reigning and defending Mr. Olympia, the man who made history as the first British bodybuilder to hoist the Sandow since Dorian Yates last did so in 1997. He is the 19th Mr. Olympia in bodybuilding history. He is the Nigerian Lion, looking to continue his reign as the king of the bodybuilding jungle from the United Kingdom. By way of Nigeria, please welcome Mr. Olympia, Samson Dauda.
Introduce myself, my name is H to the OV. I used to move snowflakes by the OZ. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier. Fly it in a piece of paper bearing my name. Got the hottest chick in the game.
Oh, hey, hang on there, Mr. Bumstead. Hang on. You don't get off that easy. All right, I'm sure you've got some right advices to give to our 4 Olympia champs out here. What would that be, Chris?
Guys are already Olympia champs. They don't need advice from me. They know exactly what they're doing. They're locked in. They're ready to go. But I'm grateful to be here. I appreciate you guys listening to us on stage. But this weekend is about these competitors. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. And please give the honor of the next Classic Physique champion everything you gave me. I'm forever grateful.
Give it up for 3 of the best of all time. Chris Bumstead, Bill Heath, and Flex Lewis.
So that's what I'm gonna do. Take you back to the dude with the Lexus fast
Better off on this side over here.
Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect this. Shoot at you.
What's up, guys? What's new? We got microphones here. We got microphones.
I think we all have got the microphones, guys.
All right, we got 4 Olympia champions. We don't get to do this very often. Usually there might be 1, maybe 2. 4? I'm not so sure we've ever had 4 on the stage, but we got one this year, and we got a competition ahead of ourselves. And we've got a reigning, defending champion in Samson Dauda. Samson, how's it been being the champ all year? You've been an active champion. You weren't a guy that's just making appearances and out there waving the hand. You actually put the title up for grabs and said, I'm happy to do it.
Hell, I've always said, you know what, I march to the beat of my own drum, and I like to do things my way. It's a privilege to be in this position, and bodybuilding has really, changed my life, and I want to give back to it. So even though that means I got to put the title online and go after it, that's what it is. And I love this. I love being in this position, and I want to be this till I'm done.
Samson, what I liked most was you weren't shy about it. You're like, look, man, I'm going for some good money here. I'm going for a title, but you know what? Yeah, I'm the Olympia champ. And if I win or lose at a different show, I'm still the Olympia champ. So Derek Lunsford, if you want to come after me, Bring it. And you said, look, it's like a ball game, right? You win a game, you lose a game. I'll see you at the Olympia. And that's exactly where we're back at the Olympia. But you did lose to the champ right here. Does that take a little bit of steam out of it, or just fire you up even more, Samson?
To the contrary, I think it light that fire just a little bit more harder for me, because there ain't nothing like being kicked down for you to realize, man, okay, I'm hungry. I want that shit back.
Well, listen, you weren't shy last year. You were the only guy to take off your shirt and say, all right, boys, here's what I got right here. Come and beat me. And you backed it up with actions on that stage, getting yourself an Olympia title. But Derek Lunsford, you also not shy about putting that title up for grabs. And you said, I'll see you at the Arnold, and we'll see what happens right over there. A lot of people thought that was a mistake. A lot of people thought maybe you made the wrong move. But I don't know, $500,000 later in a title, and you beat the champ, kind of put a little feather in your cap. Seemed like maybe it was the right move.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously, I didn't present the physique that I wanted to at 100% at last year's Olympia. And so I wanted to go right back to work, man. And I wanted to show up, you know, against the reigning champion. And I wanted to prove that, you know, my best is the best in the world. And so I want to do that right away at the beginning of the year at the Arnold Classic. And then with the Pittsburgh Pro, with it being a legacy show, I want to be the first ever Pittsburgh Pro champion. And I realized, hey, you know, winning those two and then getting your title back at the Mr. Olympia, winning all three of those biggest shows of the year is really something special. So, hey, I said, let's go for it. I don't regret it, obviously.
You look like you're ready. All you guys look like you're ready from all the videos I've been seeing and all the pictures that have been put out there. But a lot of the ex-champs that you've heard from, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, a lot of the champs from yesterday, have been on record of saying that they may have thought maybe competing earlier in the year may have cost them an Olympia later in the year. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, if they believe in you, then you can't shock the world. So, let's do this.
Well, you shocked the world from the 212 into the Open, and a lot of people thought, we'll see, maybe he'll do okay. But all you did was win the title of Mr. Olympia. So you've already been kind of down that road of shocking the world. Here's the question. Can you shock it again, and can you beat this guy?
Hey, that's what I'm here to do. This is the Mr. Olympia. This is where history is made, and I'm here to make history.
All right, Derek looking for that triple crown, the Arnold, the Pittsburgh, and now the Olympia. We're going to turn our attention to Hadi Choopan. So first and foremost, Hadi, I got to say thank you because I go all over the world for various companies that I'm with. And everywhere I go, every fan from Iran comes up and says, say it, say it, say it. And I say, what do you want me to say? And they say the name. They love when I say, Hadi Choopan.
خب اول سلام عرض کنم خدمت همه عزیزانی که اینجا هستن و خوشحالم که باز اینجا میبینمتون و اینکه بچه ها همه اومدن ببرن یک خواب هست و باید بگم که امسال خطرناکتر هر سال است براشون و آخرین کسی که این سکو رو ترک میکنه منم و باید تلاش کنم برای رنگ نقره این سکو.
First I want to say thank you for all fan and audience to be here, and I want to say this year I brought my best version, and I think I'll be the last one who will leave this stage.
So, Hadi, it's a little bit different in your country than it is here. While the people do celebrate the bodybuilding champions here, Hadi is a national hero in Iran. We've seen the footage, we've seen the video of him going back as the champ and as not the champion. They seem to celebrate just as much when he didn't win the title and came back. And there was a parade with thousands of people coming to greet the champion.
خب ایران یکی از کشورهایی است که برعکس اون چیزی که تو ذهن مردم هست کشور خیلی شاد هست و همه ورزش دوست، ورزشکار و یکی از قدرتمندترین کشوری است که توی رشته پرورش اندام توی دنیا سطح انجام میدن. خیلی از مربی‌ها که داور هستن توی این سطح مسابقات میدونن که بیشترین نفرات ایران هستن اونجا عرض اندام میکنن و به مدال‌ها میرسن. و امیدوارم که یک روزی بشه که سیاست برطرف بشه و این مرد بزرگ ویزا از وسط ایرانی‌ها برطرف بشه و میدونید که سکوی مستر المپیا بیش از 20 تا 30 ورزشکار ایرانی هست.
Well, Iran is it's a really happy country and young country, and we have a lot of bodybuilders, and they compete in the national team. Iran has one of the busiest national shows, and the people there, they love bodybuilding, and I hope politics goes from this sport, and we can see more people from Iran to be able to compete in this show.
Thank you, Hadi. All right, Brandon, the resident old guard on stage, the OG, but still a former Olympia champion, and people got to take you seriously because you've got that title. But you're in your, how many years is this now for you, Brandon?
13.
13 years. Let me tell you, I don't know if people can really realize how hard it is to be on top, and you've been in the mix, much less an Olympia title. You've been in the mix every year pretty much for those 13 years, for the over a decade. That's to be marveled at because there's not a lot of people doing that. You and I think Bonak are probably the two guys, that still representing. But every year we had the same conversation, Brandon. But every year we get a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and gets probably a little bit tougher. How much gas do you have in the tank still, champ?
Good question. The way the body is responding this prep, it's looking good. I mean, it's looking like got some good gas in the tank. We just want to capitalize. We came in last year. We didn't peak correctly. So we decided to do Arnold, change some things up, got with Justin Harris, prepping in the United States, and we brought a good package to the Arnold. And I think from talking to my coach that we could bring an even better package into the Olympia. And if that's the case, I think it'll be pretty competitive. And I'll give the judges maybe a hard time trying to figure out what they're going to do with me on stage. So that's my goal. That's why I'm here, as well as to enjoy this stage with my comrades here. Much respect to all you guys. And, of course, the fans. We couldn't be here without you. And I love every single one of you guys. Thank you for the encouragement all these years. And, I'm willing to just take pictures of whatever you guys need to do because I appreciate you guys to the utmost.
Brandon, we appreciate you, like I said, because you guys, there ain't a whole lot of you guys left that have been here for that amount of time. But can you take on these young cats? Can you still get one more title in there?
You know what? I believe that, yeah, that's the case. I still have all the tools that made me a champion. It's just the consistency that I needed to continue to be a champion. And I think we got some consistency in this preparation compared to my last. With some slight improvement. So, I'm going to be dangerous up there. I'm not going to be the guy that hopefully that you could just say, oh, I'm going to be like, whoa, okay, he's not done.
Samson, there can only be one top dog on this Olympia stage come Saturday night. We've seen your pictures. We've seen your video. You got a lot of accolades out there from just, 3-4 weeks ago. You did a guest posing. And the consensus out there was it's the best Samson that we've seen at 4 weeks out. Would you agree with that? Is that the best condition that you've had in the off season leading into this? Will we see a better Samson this year than last year?
So we guess both 6 weeks out. And for me, basically, just one more box to pick. So this prep, that was the goal. It was nice and simple. Like, they wanted you to suffer, and they want you to bring a condition that you've never seen you in before. And hell, I'm ready to show it out tomorrow night.
What's Derek got to do to beat you?
Right now, there ain't nothing he can do. It's done.
There is no defense in bodybuilding, but my man here just said there ain't nothing you can do. It's out of your hands, buddy. It's even taking your microphone.
We can go back and forth, we could talk, but at the end of the day, man, I want to show up and I want to shock the world this year, and that's what I'm going to do tomorrow night at prejudging. I'm going to bring my best, I promise.
All right, let's hear from the panel down here.
That's
I'm sure
right.
somebody's got a question. Linda Murray.
All right, yeah. So we talk a lot about money, right? And my first thought, and pretty much this question across the board, all of you, would have an answer for me, but I'm going to start with you, Samson. When we started this, it was about the love for the sport, right? We weren't really thinking about the money. So you guys brought up money, Bob. So my thought is, when I watch you, Samson, you won the Olympia, reigning champion. You are still our reigning Mr. Olympia. You were at the Arnold. And when you placed second to Derek, at that moment, did you really even think about the money? At that moment, was it really about opening the door for your Mr. Olympia title? Was it even about the money?
I think for me, you know, I always say, like, I take pride in all the guys I stand here with, and anybody can beat anybody on any given night. So I never go into any show believing, like, you know, I have to open the door or something for anything. I believe the title is right there, and any one of us could get it. I just want to be the first one there. So, you know, when you're at Arnold and you don't get that call, it stings. And it stings. But, you know, just like it would say, you know, it's, the making of a man isn't what you do when you're up. It's what you do when you get knocked down. And we've been doing a lot.
Yeah.
Dennis James, you have a question for one of our Mr. Olympias.
I had a question, but it's so cold I can't remember what I wanted to ask.
Jake paid extra for the air conditioning in here. I just want to let everybody know.
I do have some questions. I have a question for Hadi. Hadi, you in Iran training since last year's Olympia. You watched Derek beat Samson at the Arnold, and then you saw Derek fight in a battle with Nick 2 weeks later at the Pittsburgh Pro. Now, what does a Hadi think, or what's going on in your mind seeing that the reigning champion got beat by the guy that you beat last year? What was different for you, and what can we expect from you coming tomorrow night?
من توقعم از خودم همیشه خیلی زیاد بوده، چون سنگ تموم گذاشتم تو این چند سالی که اینجا هستم. بهترین این سکو بودم. امسال هم مثل هر سال هست، خیلی خطرناکتر، خیلی بدتر از هر سال، خیلی آماده تر از هر سالم. و اینا برای من قابل احترام هستن، قهرمان مصر المپیا هستن، محبوب هستن واسه من و الگو هستن خودشون. اما رقابت روی سکو مشخص میکنه همه چیز. الان ما فقط داریم حرف میزنیم، عملش روی سکو هست. باید این حرفا روی سکو ثابت بشه. من اومدم.
I always have a lot of expectation from myself. That's why it's been the last 8 years I have been brought my best version. Every year I was the contender, and I respect all of the champions here. But this year I brought much better version and condition. So this year I'll be in my best and I'll win it. And I don't talk, I'll show on the stage.
All right, Brandon Curry looking for one more. Hadi looking for another Olympia victory. Derek says he's going to bring it back. Samson, you're the champ. You have the last word, brother.
You all ready for a show tomorrow night?
Please welcome 5 competitors
we're gonna give you a show.
add their names to the illustrious
All right,
list
give it
of
up for
Mr.
Mr.
Olympia winners.
champions, everybody.
First, the man who shocked the bodybuilding world last year.
Who the hell is that guy?
Ted Fitzwater. Your next competitor is a 5-time Pro Show winner. He is the Mona Lisa of bodybuilding. Please welcome from the United Arab Emirates, by way of Nigeria, Chinedu Obieke. You know him as Andrew Jack. Your next competitor is the embodiment of persistence and the will to never give up. His inclusion in this year's Olympia is a celebration in and of itself. a man qualified for 4 consecutive years, but unable to come to the United States to compete in his first 3 because of visa issues. Well, this year, he is here. Please welcome from Iran, Behrouz Tabari. Your next competitor made the quantum leap from the classic physique division to compete in the open class and winning his first 2 open shows. Please welcome from Germany, Urs, the Miracle Bear Kalachinsky. And now, the man who makes his long-awaited return to the Olympia stage for the first time since 2022. He is the man they call the Mutant. Please welcome from the United States, Nick Walker!
All right, folks, we've got some contenders here in the house. We've got Big Mike out here. He's going to help us out a little bit with the translation. Appreciate you, Mike. All right, we're going to start things up by going to our panel. First and foremost, Tarek El-Gindi. Let's start with you. Or Fuwan, let's start with you.
Check. My turn. Nick. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, let's get Urs, give me your microphone. Here we go.
Hi, Fuad. You look lovely.
Thank you. So do you, Nick. I like your shaved head. How does it feel to shake the hand of a man who said you're going to be 7th?
What did you say one more time?
How does it feel to shake the hand of a man who said you were going to be 7th?
8th.
8th? Oh, that's even worse.
Let's just make sure we got the right information here.
What do I think? Who the hell is that guy?
Well, let me tell you who I am, Nick. This is how that whole thing started to begin with. But one of the things that's come up, Nick.
I announced the winner.
Wait. I got a real one.
Who's that going to be, though? That's the question, right? But so, Nick, one of the things that came up this year as we were going back and forth and having a little bit of fun at both of our expenses was that maybe, I shouldn't be putting my opinions out there because I'm the MC and I'm going to be announcing the winner. Let me ask you a personal question. Is there anybody on this earth that you would rather have announce you as the winner other than me?
No, Bob. I would choose you every time,
That's much appreciated, brother. Thank you. Because honestly, it just wouldn't have the same impact. It just
wouldn't. You say it too good. It's too professional. Sounds too professional, and I need that charisma when my name gets announced Saturday night.
And charisma it will be, my friend. You have the charisma, Nick, and that's why these fans love you so much. So, all the bullshit aside, congratulations on getting back to the Olympia. The last 2 years, unfortunately, we haven't had you. As I was on the stage and you were in the audience, I mentioned that this Olympia is a much better lineup with you in it, and that's sincere and from the heart. Listen, me and Nick have a little fun throughout the year. The funny part is you probably took the least amount of offense to anything. You were kind of laughing it up, and we were texting each other. By the way, I'm still looking for my 2X large Who the F is Bob shirt.
Yeah, I don't ever take things personal, It's all fun and games,
Well, that said, you're going to be competing against these guys and those 4 you just saw and 4 Olympians. What are your chances this year, Nick? We saw maybe the best Nick that we've seen emerging this year in the pictures and the videos that you've been putting out. You're all over Instagram. You've got a huge fan base. What can we expect from you? I know you're here to try to win, but can you beat these guys?
I've already beat all these guys, and I expect to do it again Saturday night.
That's fair. Well, one of the guys that maybe would have, should have, and could have beaten you in New York, not this year, but last year, is this man to my left. That's Martin Fitzwater. So, Martin, you got a whole bunch of fans on your side from that New York showdown with Nick. Very close, could have gone either way. I know, Nick, you said, listen, if he can't beat me at my worst, what makes him think he can beat me at my best? But can he beat you at your best?
Look, my mama said, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to see the best Martin you've ever seen. And if it lands how it's expected, I can beat anyone.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't see the best Martin we could see at Pittsburgh because a lot of the speculation was that had we seen the best Martin, you might have beaten Nick and Derek Lunsford. But what changes have you made from what we saw in Pittsburgh to what we're going to see tomorrow night?
Everything has been calculated to the T since the second I walked off that stage at Pittsburgh. Here right now, a confident Martin is dangerous, but a pissed off with a chip on his shoulder Martin is really dangerous. And that's what we went for. So, poker, mine would be, if we were playing poker, I put all my hands on one card, and I'm going for it. And if we nail it, I promise you, you're going to see the best bodybuilder in a while.
All right, let's go to the panel. Tarek El Gindi, you have a question.
Yeah, I want to ask Baruz Tabani, first of all of us are very happy you're here. Realistically speaking, all the tension is gone. Are you projecting to be in the top 5 fighting against guys like Hadi, Derek, Samson? Or do you have expectations possibly being in the top 10? Where do you see yourself finishing up on Saturday?
Okay, first, hello everyone. I want to say today is the best day of my life. I worked for this dream 20 years. I won 3 years for get a visa. God give me the honor to compete with the best in the world. Now, I am here to do it. I am so happy, so motivated, and ready to show my best. Thank you all.
Beiruz, congratulations, because I know it can't be easy. I don't think people can put yourselves in his shoes. How about you qualify for the biggest show in the world, the Olympia, for 3 years in a row, and you have to prepare like you're going to go. And that means from A to Z. And all of a sudden, with a week to go, they tell you, sorry. I mean, I can't even imagine prepping for a show, much less the Olympia, and then getting told no. But you finally made it, and you're here, and you're with these champions, and we'll finally see you on an Olympia stage.
خب just translate my friend. خب من امسال سال اولمه و این افتخار رو دارم که کنار بزرگان دنیا رقابت کنم و این برای من باعث افتخاری که امسال تونستم رو استیج مستر المپیا حاضر بشم و به خانواده بزرگ مستر المپیا بپیوندم و این برای من بیشتر از هر چیز ارزشمنده. ولی از نظر خودم شما فردا یه ورژن خیلی جدیدی از من رو خواهید دید که خیلی شوکه میخوام بشه.
He says that first off, he's honored to be here amongst the greatest in the world. He's honored to be here in front of Olympia, in front of the IFBB. He says that tomorrow you will all see a version of him that you've never seen before.
All right, Dennis James. Who's that guy? We got the Miracle Bear on an open stage, Dennis.
Yeah, I have a question for Urs, because last year you sat on this very stage on a little tiny stool, and you fit on there. This year, you sit in a sofa chair and you fill out the whole damn thing.
I mean, I still don't need my own couch as Nick is doing, but
So-
I'm working my way up there.
Yeah. So, but listen, my question to you, Urs, is, I mean, I watched you from the beginning, but when you announced you're jumping into the Open in Italy as your first Open show, everybody talked about it. Everybody said the same thing. He's going to do well, but he's still not big enough. Now, the whole world saw that size sometimes is not everything, even in bodybuilding. Size and shape in combination means a lot. And you stood out, so you won your first 2 Open shows, and you're on the Olympia stage now. You're in the talks. People have you in the top 10 as somebody who just moved up from Classic. How do you feel, and what's your mindset like right now, having all this hype going into the show, sitting next to these guys that you probably looked up to years ago?
Honestly, I feel where I belong to not right now, because making weight for me past years was a hell for the whole year. We just talked about it backstage. And yeah, sitting next to those guys here, which I looked up to and which I followed over the past years, which helped me to grow, is just unbelievable for me and makes me hella excited. I'm loving bodybuilding, such as in my beginning years, where I met you, for example, and I really have my fire back inside my soul, and the future is definitely bright, and I'm happy to bring something special to the Open and close the gap between Classic and Open, and also show maybe for all the upcoming younger guys in the Classic that there is a possibility also to grow yourself into the Open division, and it's going to be a great weekend.
All right, let me get to the big man, Andrew Jack. Andrew, they say the Olympia is a big man show to win. Samson's big, but you're bigger. Samson's heavy, but you're heavier. Is it the time for the big man to take this title over, and can you win it this year?
Well, you know what, Bob, I'll tell you something, yeah? It's interesting, and I'm enjoying it when, like, no one has got my name on the mix. That's so good. Like, I'm so relaxed, just in my zone, and I would say in more than 24 hours time from now, then we'll see what's happening.
Can you beat Nick Walker?
It's called an open bodybuilding show. It's open for everyone, and it's man versus man, blood versus blood, so yeah.
Nick, you beat the big man and everybody else on this. I see you eyeing that sandal right there. It looks nice, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
Be a little bit better on your mantle, wouldn't it?
Right above my TV in my room, you know?
All right, give me the final call on this one, Nick. Where are you going to end up placing, bro? Will I be announcing you in first, top 5, or top 8?
Nick Walker will be Mr. Olympia Saturday night.
All right, you heard it here. Give it up for our champs, folks. These are your top contenders for the 2025 Mr. Olympia.
From Brazil, Roberto and the man who shot the Classic Physique Olympia World last year, finishing runner-up and giving the legendary Chris Bunsen a true pat. He is your reigning Arnold Classic champion. Please welcome from Germany, Mike Sommerfeld. Representing the 212 Olympia, one of the best to ever step on the 212 Olympia stage, featuring 2 Olympia titles, 4 runner-up finishes, and an open class victory. He is the Giant Killer. Please welcome from the United States, Sean Florida. And now, please welcome your reigning and defending two-time 212 Olympia champion, looking to make it 3 in a row and further. Many's claim of him being one of the best pound-for-pound bodybuilders on the planet. From the United States, Keon Pearson.
All right, a few divisions represented here. Fuad, we're going to start right off with you, brother.
Check. Sean Clarita, how are you? You're sitting next to Keon, who just came out, and they announced him as arguably the best bodybuilder in the world. You yourself were one time seen that way. What can you do tomorrow night to beat Keon as he kind of ascends to the top?
Just stay in my lane, play my game, and bring back what got me 2 titles originally. Trying to play the size game isn't my thing. I'm known for just being conditioned, aesthetic, hard, rock, grainy, so I'm bringing that back with a few extra pounds.
All right, the Giant Killer is back. He wants revenge. He wants that title back. Keon he's tough, isn't he? This guy's being talked about getting in the open. He's talking about maybe moving up and taking on the big boys. What do you think about it? You've taken on the big boys in a couple of competitions, and you've beaten a lot of them. So what do you think? You think Keon should just move up to the open? Actually, go ahead. Yeah, you can answer that, Keon.
Me going
what
up
do
to
you
the
think?
open?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just focused on the 212 right now, man. I'm here for the 212 division to represent that division only, man. You know, I'm here to, you know, keep the title. This is going to be the best 212 lineup to date, to history, and I mean that. I felt like since 22-23, just the standard changed completely with the physiques, and you guys are going to see that tomorrow, so I'm excited.
All right, DJ.
Well, we have 2 of the best classic physique competitors right here sitting next to each other. Ramon and Mike Sommerfeld. Mike, my question to you. The last 2 weeks must have been really hard on you because the whole world was talking about Mike Sommerfeld not being tall, not making weight, cheating, and so on and so forth. Now, you proved to the world this morning that you did. They checked your height, you did make weight, but what did it do to you, and what do you feel like right now?
Excuse me, say it again.
So what did all that talk about you in the last 2 weeks do to you, and how do you feel about it today?
Well, there was a lot of pressure, but this is what my team and me is handling all the time since years. And we faced the problems, we made it happen, we made weight, and now it's time for Saturday.
Well, Mike, congratulations for that. Like I say, a lot of speculation this week about whether you were tall enough for the weight category and all that. I know it put a lot of pressure on you, but you did it. There was 10 officials around, so everything is done on the up and up. You've been growing the mustache and the beard. Ramon's been busy shaving. I didn't even recognize who you were when you came out here.
But
who's the young guy here?
Can we ask for the audience?
New shape, new face, you know.
Hold 1 second. Can we ask Mike for the audience, because people don't know. How much did you weigh in this morning? How much did he weigh in at? And what was his weight this morning?
What was your weight, Mike?
So we managed to go down more than 14 pounds in a few days to make weight, 204 this morning in order to make the weight to compete on Saturday. But I can tell you for fact, I'm gonna be 5'9" next show.
You know what? We all reach great heights here at the Olympia, folks. That's for sure. Ramon Dino, you're one of those names that's been kicked around. As Chris Bumstead has retired, he left the door wide open with Mike, yourself, and some of the other great contenders like Logan Franklin and some of the other guys that we're going to see. Matt Grego, you got a stacked lineup for sure. What are your chances, and what improvements did you have to make that you can be the Olympia champion this year?
Qual que foi as melhoras que você fez e quais você acham que são suas chances para este Olímpia?
Eu posso falar em português mesmo?
Pode, eu traduzo.
As melhoras foi nos pontos que a arbitragem tinha me pedido ano passado. As poses também a gente trabalhou elas para se manter fixas no palco e as coreografias também a gente trabalhou. Então acredito que a gente vai trazer todo um conjunto melhorado e uma postura diferente também no palco.
He said one of the priorities was the poses. He felt like he was shaking too much the previous years. This year he's posing a lot better. Also, he paid attention to his posing routine, and he thinks physically his entire physique has been modified for 2025.
All right, can't wait to see that unfold. Linda Murray.
I'm curious, what is it like without Chris Bumstead competing? Did you approach this in a different way? Without Chris Bumstead competing in Classic, him being gone, I mean, I would imagine competing, yes, please translate, competing with Chris Bumstead, so many followers, and now you have the opportunity to hold your own. What does it feel like this year to compete without Chris?
So, Mike, without Chris Bumstead now, he's still involved in the game, but he has abdicated the throne. Can you fill the shoes of Chris Bumstead? Can you take over where he left off?
To be really honest here, nobody ever will fill Chris' shoes. It's just not possible because nobody else is Chris Bumstead. And I treat Chris as somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He opened different countries, different continents. Chris and Arnold and many other bodybuilders such as Phil Heath, all these really incredible, successful guys, they opened so many doors worldwide. And I experienced that when I was traveling the last 4 years. It didn't matter where I go. It didn't matter what country I visited. I was always welcome because I shared the dedication, the love, the vibe of bodybuilding. And this is what Chris, Arnold, and all the guys before us did. And this is what the IFBB Pro League does worldwide, to build a community, a connection between bodybuilders. So in other words, there's no Chris Bumstead 2.0, but I will do my best to connect bodybuilding around the world and bring people together and do the same thing as good as possible.
Thank you, Mike. Keon, you're going to get all you can handle from the Giant Killer tomorrow night, that's for sure, okay? But you got 2 in the bank. If you were to make it 3, you've speculated that you're going to do an open show this year. Is that a direction you see yourself going in the future, or are you going to cement yourself in this 212 like Flex Lewis?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just want to, the whole purpose of the progs is to see how I do with the bigger guys, right? Because honestly, Sean inspired me. When I saw him do the prog and the Arnold, I was like, I feel like I can bang with the guys too. And I think it's a good evaluation for me in the future if I do want to make that jump. But there's no permanent decision whether I want to go up or I want to stay here. I just want to, jump in the waters and see how I do and then take it from there. Just one thing at a time for me, Bob.
Sean said he's very encouraging you to go up to the open, and he will pay your entry into the next show. Isn't that right, Sean?
I'm still here, Sean. I'm not going nowhere.
Give it up for our champs, folks. Thank you, gentlemen.
Representing the women's...
You
Don't touch me,
what?
okay?
Here we go.
Ali Bilal. Your next competitor will forever live in the men's physique Olympia history books as the man who ended a dynasty, winning the Olympia title in 2018, then again in 2020 and 2021. Please welcome from the United States, Brandon Hendrickson. Your next competitor won the Men's Physique Olympia title in 2022. In only his second Olympia appearance, he features a resounding 8 professional victories, including a monumental win at the Pittsburgh Pro. Please welcome from the United States, Aaron Banks! Your next competitor is the winningest men's physique Olympian of all time, reigning over the division from 2014 to 2017, and now he is back, and he wants a 5th Olympia title. Please welcome from the United States, Jeremy Buendia! And now, please welcome your reigning and defending 2-time men's physique Olympia champion. This year, he is going for the 3-peat. From the United Kingdom, Ryan!
The fireworks for last. If anybody talks any better smack than these guys, the bodybuilders used to be those guys, but you guys have taken over it. I keep all eyes on all the Instagram accounts and all that, the videos. Andre Ferguson was supposed to be here, but now he's the one who talks the most, but he kind of bailed out of this thing. What's up with that, Jeremy Buendia?
I don't know. Andre's Andre. You know, he's had a long, amazing career in this sport, and I think at this point in his career, he's just having a good time.
Well, listen, you were the one who defined this division. Obviously, you're a veteran competitor here. Olympia title's in your hand, but you want one more shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a winner. You know, my parents raised me the winner and champion mentality. You know, I don't come into any contest not expecting to win. I mean, we step on this stage because we are the best of the best, and if anybody is up here that doesn't believe they're going to win, they aren't going to. So that's just the mentality in order to become a champion.
Let me ask you something. Why come back? I mean, clearly you've cemented your place in bodybuilding history in defining this division. You've been a great champion. But why do you want one more? Like, why come back?
There's several reasons, Bob. There are several reasons. For one, the first time I retired in 2018, you know, I didn't leave the stage the way I wanted to leave the stage, you know, physically or personally. You know, I left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths the way I was acting at that young of an age, and I had a lot of growing up to do, as we discussed in last year, or 2023 press conference. You know, I've grown up a lot, and, you know, throughout my career, you know, the division has definitely evolved. The era when I was winning was much different than what it is today. And I'm very aware of that. The physiques are bigger, they're better. And I wanted to be able to show not only myself but the world that regardless of the time that's gone by, I am still competitive in this new era, and I do have a chance at winning this title.
You look great in your comeback show just a few weeks ago, and great to have you back on the Olympia stage. But this is the man right now that owns the title. The last 2 titles, to be exact. Ryan Terry, you're the champ.
Yes,
Ryan,
yeah.
I know you don't get muddled in, and maybe it's at the United Kingdom type gentlemanly thing. I know you don't get too muddled in with the smack talk. But even I saw yourself out there a little bit, having a little bit of fun, saying, all right, guys, I appreciate what you're all bringing, but I'm still the 2-time champ, and it's going to be number 3 come Olympia Day.
Yeah, it was. This is the first time actually in my career, I've been here. It's my 10th Olympia. That shots were fired at me on social media. So it was, it was an eye opener to say the least. And it was quite hard at times not to respond. But then I kind of thought, no, I'll stay in my lane and do my talking on stage, and that's something I've always done. I'd rather show people what I'm made of come show day.
Derek Elgindy.
Yeah, Ryan, you mentioned just now that shots were fired and, you know, that maybe took you, it was hard to, you know, it was on a live that you said, I won the Olympia, but my midsection was not perfect. I know I can be even better. And then on another live, Ali Bilal said, what do you mean? He was not 100%? Was he 92, 93%? He had no idea when the show was on? Did that, what's going on?
Yeah, so basically what I was trying to say there is,
as a person, as a competitor, I always want to be at my best. I want to showcase my best physique. And going into the Olympia, I was exactly where I wanted to be. But come show day, I made a few mistakes. We're all human. And I just wasn't 100% happy with where I was. I got straight first and I won. So I wasn't complaining. I was just literally saying, I want to be better. I know I've got better standards. And next year, I'm hoping to better that. So that's all I was getting at. And the midsection was because it was the first time I prepped myself, and it was the first time I've ever had to make weight before. And I was really near the cusp, and I made a few panic mistakes where I didn't eat a few meals and a few things went wrong. Again, making mistakes, but I just wasn't 100%. And I was just saying that I want to be this year 100%.
Ali Bilal, Olympia champ, Olympia champ, Olympia champ, Olympia champ. You're the new guy here. Got an Arnold Classic under your belt. That's cool. 2. Thanks for the correction. But people only count Olympias when it comes to history and bodybuilding. Can you beat this incredible lineup of Olympians?
So when you say Olympia champion, Olympia champion, Olympia champion, when Ryan was competing, I was still in Afghanistan, you know. When these guys were winning titles, I was a kid. And you can see, you know, they lost their hair in the meantime, and, you know, they got old, all of them. I'm just a new kid, man. I just started like 3 years ago. It's my 3rd year. I'm going to win Olympia title, Olympia title, Olympia title. I'm going to win 4, 5, 6. I have time. They don't have time. Even if I don't win it this year, I don't win it next year, I'm going to win it the 3rd year, the 4th year, the 5th year. I have time. They don't have that much time, I think.
Sounds like your time is limited, Brandon.
I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm still here. I was here 10 years ago at the Olympia, and I'm still here to this day.
We're going to do something we don't normally. I'm going to put you in the judge's seat, actually. Give me a critique on Ali Bilal. He's a young up-and-comer. Like you said, he's just a baby of this group. Where do you give his chances in this crew?
As far as placing?
Sure.
Not next to me.
I mean, that could be good or bad, right? So, here we go.
You're scared,
Sure
bro.
you have.
You're scared,
If anybody wants to show anything on this stage, feel free.
I gotta teach you how to be humble. I gotta teach you how to be humble.
Well, I'm going to say
you don't
this.
have the attitude.
It worked
so
for Samson Dauda last year. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not afraid of nothing.
Samson was the only guy to take his shirt off, hit a shot right here, and he's the guy who won the show. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, there we go. What do you think about the young lion here, huh? All right. What do you think, Brandon? You've hit what, 3 of these things, right?
They need to get ready. They're still at 85%.
This guy's a joke, bro. He's doing this because he needs.
Come on, we are entertaining. We are
he needs the
entertaining
validation
business.
from the
What do you
people.
expect?
He needs the validation from the people.
One at a time. Go ahead, Brandon.
He needs the validation from the people. That's why he acts out like this. I'll show you how to be a humble champion.
All right. Well, hang on a second.
Don't touch
hang
me.
on. I
Don't
gotta
touch me. Don't touch me.
get Aaron involved in this one. Oh, hang on. You
Don't
said
touch
you
me,
what?
okay? Respect that.
No touching here. No elbows. Where's Big Steve when I need him? No elbows, guys. No elbows. Aaron Banks, you're the big man of this
How you
group.
doing, Bob?
All right? You're kind of like the Samson or the Andrew Jack of the men's physique division. But you got to get yourself back into that position again. An outstanding lineup here. What do you think about the young man right here?
I mean, he believes in himself, and he talks confident. That was one thing that I did in my beginning of my career. But I also seen how that kind of did for my career as well. So, you know, he'll figure his way out in his lane and learn like I did. But he outside of the stage, I mean, he's a pretty cool cat, you know what I mean? And, you know, he does what he does with his businesses and stuff. But besides that, man, I guess I'm not going to give any predictions or placings on where he's going to be.
Linda Murray, a lot of testosterone going on up here, a lot of bravado.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys on stage, really, truly. I see the maturity, and I understand exactly what Brandon is saying and what Aaron is saying, what Jeremy is saying, what Ryan is saying. And we've had this conversation. I'm looking forward, really. I mean, based on what we've seen tonight, you guys are really bringing the heat, just like the figure division brought the heat. And they say that men's physique like that you're not going to bring it, but I see a lot here, so I'm
Oh,
looking
these
forward
guys
to
are
seeing
bringing it,
this.
that's
I got
for
to
sure.
see what you're going to bring. I got to see it. I know you're going to bring it.
Well, Jeremy, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Ali and his bravado and his confidence and all that, it reminds me a lot of you from 10 years ago. Do you see some of yourself in Ali from that game? And what advices would you give Ali as now you're the veteran, you're a father now, like you said, you've kind of matured a lot as a man, as a professional. What advice would you give young Ali here?
Well, Bob, I was also doing that stuff at 24, 25, and 26 years old. So, my advice for Ali is I admire the confidence, man. That's what it takes to become a champion, absolutely. But humility is going to go a long way in this sport. Relationships are very important in this industry. And as you move throughout your career, making sure that you are aligning with and making sure yourself is loved within the sport, because at the end of the day, the fans and the people around you, this industry is what's going to make you or break you. So if you do want to have that continued success, make sure you understand, carrying yourself with dignity and pride, but also respecting those around you.
Thank you.
And I wish
Thank
you luck. I genuinely do. You've had a lot of
Thank
success,
you.
my man. And I believe that you have a bright future ahead, and you're a very worthy competitor. But up here, this is the best you're going to see, and we're all bringing it.
Oh, thank you, bro. I came backstage to you, to Aaron after the Arnolds, went to Ryan. I admire all of you, man. I look up to all of you. I even took a picture with you backstage. I look up to all of you, and I think, for me, I never disrespected anyone. I only said, I'm the best. I'm going to bring my best to myself, right? Because this is how it works for me. When I say it out loud, I get the extra pressure and I work hard. It brings the extra pressure on me, and, I want to win. And I'm here, I've worked so hard to win this one. And if I don't win, I don't win. I will win it next year. But I will never disrespect any athlete, if it's an amateur, pro, whatever division it is. I respect everyone, and I've always said, I'm going to win. That doesn't mean that I take anything away from anyone else. You can also say you're going to win. Anyone can say they're going to win. But, at the end of the day, this is a competitive sport. You can't expect to come to the Olympia and get a check of like thousands of dollars and not expect that anyone is going to try to take it from you. There's going to be a lot of people that they want to take the title from you, the money from you, because otherwise it'll be a very easy title, and you need to go work, defend your title, and there's going to be a lot of talk and a lot of people that they want to work, take what you have, right? So this is what it takes, and I think I'm going to have the same if I win one day a title.
It comes with the territory. If anybody understands scrutiny, it's I do. So it's going to come with the territory, but like I said, it's just about delivery, and like I said, you said that you didn't disrespect anybody. And maybe you may not have felt that way, but the way you might have delivered it or the way you have said it, like telling Ryan that you're going to retire him. That's not up to you.
No, of course not, bro.
That's what I'm talking about, is the delivery and how you speak to other people.
Nobody retires Ryan Terry except for Ryan Terry. I can tell you that right now. Because he's looking for three-time champion. Tarek Elgindi, last question from the panel.
So, Ryan, you have Jeremy Buendia. He was a revolution on the sport. Brandon, he has tremendous legacy. But it's your time right now to establish your legacy. How many more titles do you foresee in the future? And do you foresee, Ali Bilal has you guys retiring next year. How many more titles do you see yourself winning? Are you after Jeremy Buendia's 4 titles?
Yeah, 100%. So I've always said I want to go down in history. When I retire, I want it to be, it sounds, I don't know, what's the word, cocky way you say I want to be the greatest ever. Only because I want to go down as 5 times, 6 times, on my terms, when I'm ready. And this prep, having the heat from all of these guys, knowing how good they are, has kick-started something as if I'm just starting my career again. This prep has been absolutely unbelievable, and I cannot wait to show you what I'm bringing to stage on Saturday. It's the best I've ever looked, it's the best I've ever felt, and yeah, God willing, I'm going to be taking Jeremy's 4 times next year, and so on after that, definitely. Thanks,
all right,
guys.
Linda Murray, last question for
Thank you.
Well, no question, just the fact that I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you on stage, really, especially
Thank
after
you,
this.
guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
All right, you
Thank you,
got it.
guys.
Give it up for the champs, folks. We'll see these guys battling it out. See if anybody can take out.